Resilience, rising, turning tragedy into triumph. Welcome to the Black CEO podcast, where we explore the extraordinary stories of individuals who have faced life's toughest challenges and emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Today, we have the privilege of sharing insights from a truly remarkable woman whose journey will challenge your perspective on faith, perseverance, and the power of the human spirit. I recently had the honor of interviewing Dorothy Hamilton BellHamilton, a beacon of hope and resilience whose story has touched countless lives. Dorothy's unwavering faith and determination in the face of unimaginable tragedy have not only transformed her own life, but continue to inspire and uplift others around the world. Her message of hope, love, and perseverance is a testament to the indomitable human spirit and serves as a powerful reminder of our capacity to overcome even the darkest of times. Have you ever felt like the weight of the world was crushing you? Like you were standing at the edge of an abyss with no light in sight? What if I told you that in those moments of despair, you possess a strength so profound, so transformative, that it can turn your darkest hour into the catalyst for an extraordinary life? Let's embark on a journey together, a journey that begins in 1977, a year that would forever alter the course of Dorothy's life. Picture this: a young woman brimming with hope and dreams spots a man in a pristine white car, impeccably dressed. In that moment, she turns to God and declares with unwavering certainty, "That's my husband." It's a scene that could have been plucked straight from a romantic comedy, isn't it? But as Dorothy would soon learn, life rarely follows a neatly written script. They began dating, and before long, Dorothy found herself pregnant. Now, here's where our fairy tale takes its first unexpected turn. Her partner, the man she believed God had handpicked for her, told her they would marry when he had his own place or more money. Can you imagine the whirlwind of emotions? The joy of impending motherhood colliding head on with the sting of unfulfilled promises. But Dorothy, oh Dorothy, she persevered. On March 16th, 1976, she welcomed her daughter, Katina, into the world. And true to his word, albeit a year later, on April 16th, 1977, Dorothy married the man she had declared as her husband on that fateful day. Now you might be thinking, here's where the happily ever after begins. But life, in its infinite wisdom and occasional cruelty, had other plans for Dorothy. Plans that would test her faith, her resilience, and her very will to live in ways she could never have imagined. Just over a year into their marriage, tragedy struck with the force of 1,000 hurricanes. On August 12th, 1978, Dorothy's husband, Melvin, was killed in a motorcycle accident. Can you fathom the depth of that loss, the shock, the pain, the sheer disbelief? And as if the universe wanted to twist the knife further, just 5 days later, on August 17th, 1978, Dorothy buried her husband. In the span of 5 days, Dorothy's world imploded. She went from being a newlywed to a widow, from planning a future with her husband to planning his funeral, from dreaming of growing old together to facing a future alone with her young daughter. Now, let me ask you this. What would you do in that situation? How would you react when the rug is pulled out from under you so violently, so unexpectedly? Many of us, and let's be honest here, would crumble. We might curse the heavens, turn our backs on faith, on hope, on the very idea of love. And honestly, who could blame us? In the face of such overwhelming loss, it's human nature to want to protect ourselves, to build walls so high that nothing and no one can ever hurt us again. But here's where Dorothy's story takes an extraordinary turn. Here's where she shows us the true meaning of resilience, of faith, of the human spirit's capacity to rise from the ashes like a phoenix reborn. Dorothy made a decision that would define the rest of her life and inspire countless others. She decided to trust God, to live, to educate herself, and to love again. Now let that sink in for a moment. In the depths of her grief, when the world had given her every reason to give up, to become bitter, to lose faith, Dorothy chose the path of hope. She chose to believe that even in her darkest hour, there was a purpose, a plan, a future worth fighting for. This decision wasn't easy. It wasn't a one-time choice, but a daily commitment. Every morning, Dorothy had to wake up and choose to trust, to live, to grow, to love. Can you imagine the strength that requires, the sheer force of will it takes to choose hope when Despair is knocking at your door when grief is your constant companion. But here's the thing about Dorothy's choice. It wasn't just about surviving, it was about thriving. It was about taking the broken pieces of her life and creating something beautiful, something meaningful, something that would not only heal her, but also light the way for others stumbling in the dark. She pursued education, understanding that knowledge is power, that it can open doors and create opportunities. In doing so, she wasn't just improving her own life, but setting an example for her daughter, showing her that no matter what life throws at you, you can always choose to grow, to learn, to become more. And perhaps most remarkably, Dorothy chose to love again. Now, I want you to really think about that for a moment. After experiencing such a devastating loss, after having her heart shattered into a million pieces, Dorothy found the courage to open her heart once more. That's not just bravery, that's a testament to the indomitable nature of the human spirit, to the power of faith, and to the healing nature of love itself. Dorothy's story teaches us a profound lesson about the nature of faith and resilience. It's easy to believe in God and goodness in the order of the universe when things are going well. It's easy to be optimistic when life is handing you wins left and right. But the true test of faith, the true measure of our resilience, comes when we're faced with loss, with pain, with circumstances that seem insurmountable. Dorothy's message to us is clear and powerful. Believe in God because in his house there are rooms for everyone. This isn't just a platitude or a nice saying to embroider on a pillow. This is a battle-tested truth, forged in the fires of tragedy and tempered by years of choosing faith over fear, hope over despair, love over bitterness. What Dorothy is telling us is that no matter who we are, no matter what we've been through, no matter how far we've fallen or how lost we feel, there's a place for us. There's hope for us. There's a future for us. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. We have to choose it. We have to be willing to trust, even when trusting seems foolish. We have to be willing to live fully, even when curling up and hiding from the world seems safer. We have to be willing to educate ourselves, to grow, to evolve, even when staying stagnant feels more comfortable. And perhaps hardest of all, we have to be willing to love again, even when love has brought us nothing but pain. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's easy for her to say. She doesn't know what I've been through. She doesn't understand my pain. And you're right. None of us can truly understand another person's journey. But that's not the point. The point is that Dorothy's story shows us what's possible. It shows us that no matter how dark the night, dawn will come if we have the courage to keep moving forward. It shows us that our circumstances don't define us. Our choices do. So let me ask you, what are you choosing? When life knocks you down, do you stay down or do you get back up? When tragedy strikes, do you let it defeat you or do you use it as fuel to become stronger, wiser, more compassionate? Dorothy's story challenges us to rethink our approach to adversity. It asks us to consider that maybe, just maybe, our darkest moments aren't the end of our story, but the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where we discover strengths we never knew we had, where we find purpose in our pain, where we become the heroes of our own lives. But let's be clear, this isn't about toxic positivity. This isn't about plastering a smile on your face and pretending everything is fine when it's not. What Dorothy is advocating for is something far more powerful, far more transformative. It's about acknowledging the pain, feeling it fully, but not letting it have the final say. It's about crying your tears, but using them to water the seeds of your future growth. It's about honoring your losses while still daring to dream of new beginnings. In a world that often feels chaotic, unpredictable, and sometimes downright cruel, Dorothy's message is a beacon of hope. It reminds us that we are not passive victims of our circumstances, but active creators of our reality. It challenges us to see beyond our current situation and to believe in the possibility of a better tomorrow. But here's the thing, this isn't just about individual transformation. Dorothy's story and her message have the power to create ripple effects that can change families, communities, and even societies. Think about it. When we choose to trust, to live, to educate ourselves, and to love in the face of adversity, We're not just changing our own lives. We're setting an example for others. We're showing our children, our friends, our colleagues what's possible. We're creating a culture of resilience, of hope, of unwavering faith in the face of life's storms. Imagine a world where more people embrace this mindset, a world where setbacks are seen not as dead ends, but as detours on the road to something greater, a world where tragedy doesn't break us, but reshapes us into stronger, more compassionate versions of ourselves, a world where love isn't something we withhold out of fear, but something we give freely, knowing that even if it leads to pain, it also leads to growth. That's the world Dorothy is inviting us to create, not through grand gestures or world changing inventions, but through the simple daily choice to believe, to persevere, to grow, and to love. Now, let me share with you another story that illustrates the power of this mindset. Meet Sarah, a young woman who found herself at rock bottom. She had lost her job, her relationship had ended, and she was struggling with depression. Sarah felt like she had nothing left to live for. But then she heard Dorothy speak at a local event. Something in Dorothy's words resonated deeply with Sarah. She realized that she had been defining herself by her losses, by what had been taken from her, rather than by what she still had to give. Inspired by Dorothy's message, Sarah made a decision. She decided to trust that there was still good in the world, to live each day fully instead of just going through the motions, to educate herself about mental health and personal growth, and to open her heart to new connections. It wasn't easy. There were days when Sarah wanted to give up, when the old feelings of hopelessness threatened to overwhelm her. But she remembered Dorothy's words: in God's house, there are rooms for everyone. She held onto the belief that there was a place for her, a purpose for her, even if she couldn't see it yet. Slowly but surely, Sarah's life began to change. She started volunteering at a local animal shelter, finding joy in caring for creatures that needed love. She enrolled in online courses and expanding her skills and discovering new passions. She joined a support group where she not only found healing for herself, but also became a source of strength for others. 2 years after hearing Dorothy speak, Sarah had transformed her life. She had a new career that she loved, a supportive community around her, and a sense of purpose that she had never known before. But more than that, she had become someone who could lift others up, who could offer hope to those who were where she had once been. Sarah's story is just one example of the ripple effect that can occur when we choose resilience, when we choose to believe in something greater than our current circumstances. So, as we wrap up this talk, I want to leave you with a challenge inspired by Dorothy's incredible journey and by the countless others like Sarah who have found the strength to rise from the ashes of their own tragedies. For the next 30 days, I want you to make a conscious choice every morning. When you wake up, before you check your phone, before you start your day, I want you to say these words out loud. Today, I choose to trust. I choose to live fully. I choose to learn and grow. I choose to love. It might feel awkward at first. You might not believe the words as you're saying them. That's okay. Say them anyway. Because here's the secret: sometimes we have to act our way into a new way of thinking rather than think our way into a new way of acting. And as you go through your day, when challenges arise, and they will, I want you to remind yourself of these choices. When you're faced with disappointment, choose to trust that there's a lesson in it. When you're tempted to play it safe, choose to live fully instead. When you're confronted with something you don't understand, choose to learn and grow. And when you're hurt or afraid, choose to love anyway. At the end of 30 days, take stock. Notice how these daily choices have impacted your life. Notice how they've changed your perspective, your relationships, your approach to challenges. I bet you'll be surprised by the transformation. But don't stop there. I want you to take it a step further. Find someone in your life who's struggling, who's facing their own dark night of the soul. Share Dorothy's story with them. Share your own story of how these 30 days have impacted you. Be the beacon of hope for someone else, just as Dorothy has been for so many. Because here's what I believe and what Dorothy's story so powerfully illustrates: our lives are shaped not by what happens to us, but by how we choose to respond. And when we choose faith, resilience, growth, and love, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities we might never have imagined. So, Let Dorothy's story be more than just an inspiring tale. Let it be a call to action, a call to live differently, to love more deeply, to trust more fully, to grow more consistently. Because in doing so, we not only transform our own lives, but we create a ripple effect that has the power to change the world. Remember, in God's house, there are rooms for everyone. But it's up to us to choose to walk through the door. It's up to us to furnish those rooms with trust, with life, with knowledge, and with love. What will you choose? Will you let your challenges define you, or will you use them as stepping stones to become the person you're meant to be? Will you stay stuck in your pain, or will you use it as fuel to light the way for others? The choice, as Dorothy so powerfully demonstrated, is yours. As we conclude this talk, I want you to imagine a world where everyone made this choice, a world where tragedy doesn't break us, but makes us stronger, a world where setbacks are seen as setups for comebacks, a world where love isn't something we fear, but something we embrace wholeheartedly. This isn't just a dream, it's a possibility, and it starts with you, it starts with me, it starts with each of us making the daily choice to trust, to live, to learn, and to love. So I challenge you, be the Dorothy in someone else's story. Be the beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. Show others what's possible when we refuse to be defined by our tragedies and instead use them as fuel for our triumphs. Because who knows? Your story of resilience might just be the one that inspires someone else to keep going when they're ready to give up. And in that moment, you'll understand the true power of choosing to believe, to live, to learn, and to love, no matter what life throws your way. Let's create a world where resilience rises, where tragedy turns into triumph, and where love always, always wins. The choice is yours. What will you do with it? Thank you.